All right, so good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome back to JPC, Watchdog Ministries. This is Watchdog News. So I'm Jared Wesley Campbell. So welcome back. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow. So this evening, we're going to focus on Trump's foreign policy and also the global implications of conflicts that are starting to rise around the world. So welcome back to Watchdog Ministries, to Watchdog News. So as the global conflicts intensify, President Donald Trump returned to the White House, raises critical questions about his foreign policy, which shape the world order. Trump's geopolitical strategies, from acquiring Greenland to managing tensions in Ukraine, China, and the Middle East, have been unconventional, yet strategic. Right? Drawing from the Rand Corporation's studies and also the Heritage Foundation's mandate for leadership 2025, so the 2025 project, and other policy analysis. This report will explore Trump's foreign policy, his trajectory, and his possible implications for global stability. So let's start out by talking about Greenland, right? So Greenland's in the news. Well, let's start from the beginning, right? We should always know the facts. So Greenland, it's a strategic military and economic interest for the United States. Back in 2019, Trump's proposal to purchase Greenland from Denmark was met with skepticism, but he aligned with longstanding U.S. geopolitical interests in the Arctic. The region is increasingly important due to untapped resources. Let that sink in. Emerging trade routes caused by climate change and military positioning. The Rand Corporation has improvised the necessity for the U.S. to counter Russian and Chinese advances in the Arctic. Greenland already hosts the U.S. military Thule Air Base, a critical asset in missile defense and satellite surveillance. If global tensions were to escalate, control over Greenland will offer the U.S. a strategic advantage for military operations, intelligence gathering, and supply chain security. Beautiful. Trump's approach to Greenland may be part of a broader strategy to secure Arctic dominance, counter China's Polar Silk Road initiative, and limit Russian territorial influence. Okay. The mandate for leadership 2025 recommends increasing U.S. engagement with Greenland to solidify American presence in the Arctic. All right, so let's move on to Ukraine and Russia now that we gathered some facts about Greenland. So Ukraine and Russia, it's a war of attrition and U.S. policy shifts. The ongoing war in Ukraine remains a war of attrition, with neither side achieving decisive military victories. The U.S. and NATO have provided extensive military economic aid to Ukraine. Still, the Rand Report's analysis warns that prolonged support may exhaust, listen attentively, may exhaust Western resources while failing to secure a strategic Ukrainian victory. Those Rand Reports also do not care if there is a Ukrainian victory. All it wants to do is exhaust Russian forces. It's true. It's the facts. Trump has questioned NATO's role and has suggested that the U.S. should limit its involvement in Ukraine. Okay? He has indicated that he would pursue negotiations with Russia, potentially conceding some Ukrainian territory to end the conflict. This could de-escalate tensions. It may embolden Russian expansionism and set a precedent for similar moves by China and Iran. A Trump administration may pressure European allies to assume greater financial and military responsibilities, aligning with his broader philosophy of reducing American commitments to global security arrangements. Right? Let's move on to China and Taiwan. The risk of military confrontation is growing, right? This is where Greenland comes in, right? If you're listening. Taiwan remains one of the most volatile geopolitical flashpoints. China has consistently asserted its claim over Taiwan, increasing military activity around the island. The RAND report study suggests that Beijing is closely analyzing Russia's invasion of Ukraine to assess potential U.S. responses to a Taiwan conflict. Well, I'll imagine so, right? If we have think tanks, I'm sure they have think tanks too. Everybody has think tanks. Trump's first term, right? So back in Trump's first term, saw a shift toward economic and military confrontation with China, right? Including tariffs, sanctions on Chinese technology firms, and increased arms sales to Taiwan. Since Trump has been reelected as in office, Trump would likely continue aggressive economic decoupling while blustering Taiwan's military capabilities. A more substantial U.S. military presence in the Indo-Pacific could serve as a deterrent. Still, it may provoke retaliatory measures from China, including economic sanctions, cyber warfare, and even military escalation in the South China Sea. Well, I'm going to say this, that if China doesn't take Taiwan this year, it's more than likely looking that we could go to war with China in 2026. And this is why Greenland is important. It's more important from a military strategic standpoint than it is for anything else. Let that sink in. Right? Who would you rather go to war with? Biden, Kamala Harris, or Trump and his administration? I don't know. Right? So let's move on to Israel and Hamas, the U.S. influence in the Middle East. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains a major foreign policy challenge. Trump's Middle East strategy prioritized the Abraham Accords, which normalized relations between Israel and several Arab nations. However, renewed violence in Gaza has jeopardized these agreements. Trump would most likely increase U.S. support for Israel while reducing aid to Palestinian territories. Okay. His previous administration cut funding to the Palestinian Authority and withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal, signaling a tougher stance against Iran-backed militias such as Hezbollah and Hamas. The Mandate for Leadership 2025, Project 2025, advocates for continuing to expand. Listen attentively. The Mandate for Leadership 2025 advocates for continuing to expand the Abraham Accords and deeper U.S.-Israeli military cooperation. However, critics warn that an aggressive pro-Israel stance could escalate tensions with Iran and its regional allies, leading to more instability worldwide. Global conflicts and the risk of a World War III. You know, sometimes I feel like World War III has already started, right? Tensions are rising across multiple global hotspots. We know that Ukraine, Taiwan, and the Middle East. And they are prompting concerns about a broader conflict. Listen attentively. The RAND report analysis suggests that while a full-scale World War III remains unlikely, their words, not mine, miscalculations in these regions could trigger cascading escalations. Trump's foreign policy prioritizes trans-sectional diplomacy, economic leverage, and military deterrence over traditional alliance building. Okay, this approach could prevent war by maintaining strategic and ambiguity, or heightening global instability by undermining multilateral institutions such as NATO and also the UN. Expansionism, a global trend. I think it is. I think my research proves that. While Trump's policies reflect a strategic push for U.S. influence, other global powers, including China, Russia, and Israel, are also expanding their territorial and military reach. It's true. China, strengthening military presence in Taiwan and South China Sea, extending economic influence through the Belt and Road Initiative, and decreasing Arctic ambitions. Russia, consolidating control over eastern Ukraine, expanding military influence in Africa and also Syria, and decreasing nuclear submarine activities in the Arctic. Wow, Greenland, right? You know how important Greenland is. You just listen to my report. Israel, expanding West Bank settlements, conducting military operations in Gaza and Lebanon, and strengthening regional alliances through the Abraham Accords. Right? It's fact-based. Stick with the facts. The global shift towards expansionist policies suggests that U.S. foreign policy must adapt to counter these growing political threats, whether under Trump or even another administration, right? So we can see why there's importance there, right? What's my conclusion? Well, first of all, my conclusion is always to stay objective and to the facts for all of you, because I love what I do. Right? So here's my conclusion. A world in transition, right? A second Trump presidency would reshape the global order, right? And it is. So Trump's second presidency is reshaping the global order, reinforcing military deterrence while reducing U.S. commitment to traditional alliances. I changed some of my research wording, right? Because all this is my research. His foreign policy could prevent major conflicts through strategic unpredictability or exacerbate tensions by undermining diplomatic stability, right? What are key takeaways? Trump's Arctic strategy aims to counter China and Russia's expansion in Greenland. They're trying to expand too, right? His Ukraine policy, it favors a ceasefire, potentially conceding territory to Russia. You think Ukraine gonna be okay with that? Let's see. U.S.-China tensions over Taiwan may escalate, with Trump improvising economic decoupling, right? The Abraham Accords may expand, but Trump's pro-Israel policies could heighten tensions with Iran, right? Something to watch. A shift in U.S. military commitments may create power vacuums that countries like China and Russia could exploit, right? It's an objective opinion. As global power dynamics evolve, Trump's policies remain pivotal in determining whether the world moves towards stability or a deeper conflict. For further research, always look into the RAND Corporation and their think tank analysis reports. The Heritage Foundation Policy Report, Project 2025, is a good thing to read if you want to know what's going on. Council on Foreign Relations as well. These are good areas to research, right? My report provides a fact-based objective analysis of Trump's potential foreign policy and its implications for global security. Understanding the strategic shifts is essential for anticipating the future of international relations as geopolitical tensions continue to escalate. And I do this for a reason, to watch out for all of you. So please be prepared, right? So share out this video. Some of you that are into preparedness, it's time to start preparing, right, for what's coming. I'm always going to continue these objective reportings because I care for all of you and I love you all so very much. Even if I've never met you, I love you. Like I said, no matter what you do, you are participating in this channel. Just by watching and participating. And you can do all the other stuff. I still participate. You can like, you can share. Please just engage and let me know what you think in the comment section. I love you all so much. And that is it for the report. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay? Deep research, fact stuff. Right? The truth. And that's all we need to look for is the truth. I love you all so much. JPC, Watchdog Ministries. This is Watchdog News. I am out. I'm signing off. Right? Sunday. I'm tired. I love you all so much. I'm out.